Hi guys, James George here from the British Real Estate team with EXP down in Carlsbad, San Diego. And I just wanted to do this video just for newer agents on how to show properties to clients. Because the truth is when we first get a real estate license and we go out and show some properties, we don't really know what we're doing. So I just wanted just to give some pointers just to help some people along. And, I'm always training new agents on my teams. Doing a video like this is really helpful, I know. So the first thing to mention is when you first, get to a property, try and get there early. I know it seems obvious, but if you can get there early, open up and go around the house and try and make the house look as good as it possibly can. I would say, obviously, if you're showing lots of properties and this is the fifth or sixth, not your first property, you're not going to be able to do this. But this is if you're just showing one property or your first home, get there early. Turn all the lights, open the blinds, and I would try and make the place look as good as possible. This is, whether it's your house you're selling or actually someone else's property. What I'm really talking about is when you are going to show houses that aren't your listings. And quite often, the sellers and the listing agents haven't done a great job and making sure the place looks good. So just make sure you can do what you can to make the place look good, light and bright, get all the lights and open the blinds. One of the other things is when you turn up, let's make sure we don't park your car in the driveway. I don't know what it is, but I just prefer to park my car slightly away from the house, make the house look as big and as possible, and allow them to park their car in the driveway so it feels like they're driving themselves into their own home. When you first turn up, you're obviously going to want to knock on the door. Make sure that the sellers aren't in, that there aren't any dogs or anything like that, so that when you bring your buyers in for the first time, there isn't any shock and surprises. And then when your clients actually do turn up, the first thing you want to do is ask them, so what do you think about the street? What do you think about the neighborhood? How far is this from your work? Is this a good area for you? Quite often when you meet someone, you're meeting them for the first time, you don't know anything about them. So it depends on your relationship with them, but just ask them. The key thing is just to ask lots of questions. One of the things that I would heavily advise to do is don't give any opinions on anything, especially straight off the bat, that might be completely, the other side of the spectrum from what that they actually are thinking. So a good example would be you might not think the area is that great. They turn up and you're like, yeah, so this area isn't that great, is it? And they actually, live in an area that's very similar to that or worse or whatever, and they think the area is great. Oh, why is the area not great? What was, don't give any opinions until you know a lot more about them. Another thing I would say is don't, as well as asking a lot of questions, don't lie. If you absolutely hate a house, you don't go around going, oh, wow, this house is really incredible. Oh, you should buy this house. This house is great. I wouldn't be saying that. Now, if I then from them, they really like the house, I'd be saying stuff like, oh, this is great that you really like this. But I wouldn't be myself going, oh, I absolutely love this house. I just always think it's good to be genuine and then see and just bounce off them. And then also, another thing I wanted to talk about was take them to the most exciting bit in the house. So if it's got an amazing backyard, I would be getting them to the backyard as quick as possible. Don't take them to the boring bits of the house. You're not going to show them the garage and the laundry room first. They're not the most exciting bits of the house. The most exciting bits of the house are often the backyard, the amazing kitchen. Maybe it's got this incredible master bedroom with views. Try and take them to the bits which you think they're going to be most interested in. And give them some quiet time. Like, you've got to obviously try and steer them around the house and be in control of the showing, but at the same time, you've got to learn to be quiet. This is one of my weaknesses, and I've got to admit it, is learning when to be quiet. So I would highly advise taking them around the house, giving them the important bit of information, and then just saying, look, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to go around by yourself. I'm going to go outside and admire the beautiful view. Just let me know if you've got any questions. And then just allow them to, enjoy the house to themselves. Don't be there talking 24/7, trying to come up with things to try and make the house seem better. If they don't like the house, they don't like the house. If they really like the house, give them time to enjoy it. Obviously, it's completely different if you're a first-time client or if you've been working them for a while. But if you're looking to meet, a client for the first time, then one of the things that you want to do is really find out what they really like about the home. You want to find out, if it's is this the type of kitchen that you're looking for? Is this the floor plan that you're looking for? Is this an area that you're interested in? And make as many notes as you can. If it's obviously you've only got one client, you probably can mentally remember all of it. But as you get busy, you're going to want to make a lot of notes and make sure that you update, your CRM, your database. Make sure you update your notes with all of that so that when you go to see homes again, you know exactly what they're after. And as you build that relationship up, then you can go into a house and go, oh, what a horrible kitchen, because they're not going to like the kitchen, and you can build that relationship up. But to begin with, don't say it. Don't make the mistake of saying, oh, this is a horrible kitchen, you need to redo this, and then they actually really like the kitchen. Ask them lots of questions first. Ask them questions if they like to cook. Find out who the cook is. Find out who the person who wears the pants in the relationship, because they're the ones that are going to make that final decision. So you've really got to work out early on who is really steering this purchase. Find out their why. Find out who's really ultimately going to make a decision, and this will really help you. And just other things, like if it's got a downstairs bedroom, if it's a single story, ask why they want that. Have they got family that come and stay? Just try and find out as much as possible about it. And yeah, so the key things to talk about really is to ask lots of questions, really find out what they like and don't like about the house. They don't have to buy every house that you walk into. So it's really about finding out what especially those first few homes, what they're really interested in, and then you can narrow their search down. Just don't try and come up with a million solutions. Don't get me wrong. If they really like the house, but the view out of the master bedroom is not what they're after because there's a massive tree in the way, then you can kindly suggest, well, one of the things we could do is look at trimming that tree or getting that tree removed, and then it opens up this backyard and all those views. There's stuff like that you can come up with, but just remember that you don't have to come up with a million reasons why you should buy this house. You're there to show them the house, give them information, help them with their purchase, but you don't have to try and force them to buy every home. And move at their pace. If they want to see 100 homes and they take a long time looking around them, then you've got to go with that. If they're one of these people that wants to see 15 homes in one afternoon, back to back, get in and out, then that type of personality I love, and make sure you move along at that pace. You've got to look at your times and you've got to make sure things move along. If they don't like the house, then okay, this isn't great. I think the next one you'll really like, let's move on. And one last thing, make sure you lock up. So when you're showing homes for the first time, make sure you lock up. And another thing is if you've just got your real estate license, I highly advise going to see a house by yourself that's and practicing opening lock boxes, closing lock boxes, and doing all of that. Because I remember the first time I went to go and show homes, I couldn't get into one of the log boxes and it was really embarrassing. I just didn't know what to do. I had no phone signal. So get to go out there and get some practice. And then if they really, really like the house, what I advise is saying to them to have a drive around the neighborhood. Maybe it's just one house they're looking at. Get them to drive around the neighborhood afterwards by themselves. Maybe they're looking at 10 properties that day. Get them to come back later, maybe even when it's dark, so they can see the house. Maybe it's a place that's got great sunsets. Tell them, come back, watch the sunset. And I think that would be a really good option for people as well. So if you've got any questions in regards to showing homes, hopefully I've covered most of the things that do come up, but I really wanted just to give everyone an idea of what you should be looking to do, what you should be looking to talk about when you do your first time. So get in contact if you need any training or anything on anything else, and I'm always happy to help. Take care and have a good week.